Do you want to master the art of questions? I will tell you this, mastering the art of questions will make you a better leader, a better coach, and a better mentor. I always say, to become a better problem solver, you must first become a better problem identifier. This requires two skills. First, you must know what questions to ask. And second, you must know how to ask them, right? These are just, mastering the art of questions is just one topic I coach in my Self 2.0 leadership development program. If you're interested in learning more about that program, do me a favor and follow the link in the description. But right now, I want to help you begin that process. I want to help you begin mastering the art of asking questions, and by unpacking what that means and then sharing with you just some of my favorites to get you started, right? Some of my favorite open-ended leadership questions. And I say this because here's the truth. Leaders often don't ask enough questions. And when they do, many don't ask the right questions, or they don't ask questions in a way that will empower honest and informative answers. Poor leaders, on the other hand, rarely ask any questions of themselves or of other people. Effective leaders ask really good questions. Good questions are more powerful than answers. I tell everybody I coach that, right? Good questions are the key. Many leaders think it's just best to tell people what to do. They make statements all the time. They're constantly talking. They offer their opinions, they speculate, and they hypothesize. It's not easy to break the talking habit and shift into what I call the question habit. I promise you that asking questions will improve your team experience and their performance, and more importantly, it's going to add some ease and grace to your leadership. Open-ended questions are the most powerful. Let me give you some of my favorites, ones that I use on a consistent basis. When people bring challenges to me, the first question I just give them is, what do you think, right? What feels right to you? What doesn't, right? What matters most in this situation? In your opinion, what needs to be done? And then when we start talking about that, I say, well then, what do you think we should do next? And why should we do that? And then what do you think will happen if we do that? Or what other options can you think of? And as we unpack that even further, I'll say, okay, who else should be involved? And what's a reasonable time frame? Or what reservations or concerns do you have, right? And then one of my favorite ones is, what support do you need from me? Right? These are some of my go-to ones, right? I rattle them off the top of my head. Why? Because open-ended questions develop critical thinking skills. They engage other people. They challenge deeply held assumptions and limiting beliefs. And they force everyone that's involved out of traditional ways of thinking, which is often part of the problem. You guys who follow me, you know I'm a big Einstein guy, and he has a great quote. He says, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. It's one of my favorite quotes. Engaging others with good questions is like an opportunity for you as the leader to redefine the problem and to actually begin to reframe everybody's perspective without any drama. Questions also have two additional benefits. When you ask questions, you demonstrate interest. You send a signal to the other person that you're present, you're engaged in the conversation. And number two, questions build rapport with people, right? I mean, it's crazy, right? They create connections, they ignite creativity, which often leads to new ideas. Effective leaders know they don't have all the answers, right? Instead, they help their team discover the answers by making a habit of asking good questions. Good questions, right, help everybody gain insightful information for the sole purpose of making more informed decisions. Leaders also accept that they may not know what is right or best in every situation. When we start asking questions, we often realize, I don't know about you, but just how little we know. And I tell you, it takes courage to expose yourself. It takes courage to embrace the unknown. It takes courage, to ask questions, even when it feels scary and uncomfortable. Asking good questions, though, is not it's not an easy thing to do, right? And that's why I coach it in my program. Because I always say, if you ask vague questions, guess what? You're going to get vague answers. But in turn, if you ask insightful questions, you're going to get insightful answers, right? I encourage you to practice asking more open-ended questions. Practice with some of the questions I shared. Leverage questions to brainstorm. Leverage questions to stay present in the conversation. And leverage questions to help your team build critical thinking skills. Mastering this art, right, requires patience. It's going to take time when you first get going. It's going to take time to navigate challenges. There's a great temptation for leaders to rush, especially when they're in a hurry or they want quick answers. I encourage you to step back and exercise some self-discipline here. Stay patient and practice asking questions that engage the other person. One of the big challenges many leaders face when they begin practicing this, right, when they're practicing asking questions, is the other person gets defensive. I coach leaders how to ask questions in such a way that others don't feel threatened in my Self 2.0 Leadership Development Program. This is an accelerated 90-day training program that will help you build the confidence and the courage to lead others and accelerate results. Enrollment for our next session is now open. We're limiting the size of this group so we can work specifically with everybody. So if you're interested, I encourage you to get your application in soon before it fills up. The details are below. Okay, if you like what I shared, right, give it a thumbs up, comment below, and of course subscribe, because each week I'm sharing content to help you embrace change, focus your efforts, and accelerate results. We'll talk to you soon.